Plug in receiver. Just so the light comes on. There, it's on. I can see it. Yes. Oh, good morning. Oh my goodness, we have 37 people already. 41. Wow, you guys are right on the ball this morning. Good morning. It's Memory Bound from Central Iowa. We are here with Val today.
Good morning.
And she is off today from her regular job, so we are very fortunate to have her in the house with her beautiful, beautiful cards. Oh my gosh, just look at these. Oh, those are, looks like your grandma's quilts. Wow. Wow, wow. You guys are in for a real treat this morning. Wow. Okay, well, we are going vertical today because I'm on a different phone and could not figure out how to do horizontal because it's an older iPhone. So we are going vertical today. So we will start out this morning with some new things.
New product. Or back in stock.
Yes.
Back in stock.
These are great little 12 by 12 keepers to keep paper in or whatever, and they come in multiple colors.
Only $1.99.
Yes, great. I love those. I have several of those. And then brand new from Elizabeth Craft. Again, they did not disappoint us.
Should we show them?
Yes,
Okay.
we need to show that. Everybody remembers how good their Christmas collection was from this last year.
It is hard to tell just from
Yes.
the front, so we
And
got to
it
see
is
them
called
up close in person.
Belle Rose Pink. It is awesome. Yeah, it's very vintage, but it is awesome. The whole staff loved how they threw in the pink. Very perfect for Valentine.
Or spring.
Yes, or spring. Oh, that's a gorgeous one. Yeah, their papers are just really cool. Oh,
Look at the
goodness.
rose.
Yeah.
Is that pretty?
Beautiful cards, beautiful mini books, tags. Ooh, they
Bubbles.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the second round.
Yes.
2 sheets each.
Yeah,
All
two
right.
sheets each. So
Okay.
awesome, awesome. And that is on the website
And it is
under $14.29.
Under
And it will be under 12 by 12 paper packs, or just put in Belle Rose and it should come up. Okay, this is a restock of Elizabeth Craft, and you know how we all like Elizabeth Craft dies here. I love that one because you can just use that on any paper to put in those journals.
$23.99 for that one. Ooh, spring.
And this is a great spring one. This is a sidekick one made for the smaller journal, but you can use it in the big one. So that really has got fun pieces too.
$19.99.
Okay. This is a restock. This is one that Kelly used, the shabby doily. So if you missed out on that one, it's now back in stock, and it is $18.99. And it's a really cool, shabby looking doily. Now, these are brand new dies that came, and stamps that came out from Elizabeth Craft. They're a little different from their normal ones, but they're great. They have a butterfly and the bouquet, the frames, the lady, and we all like that bumblebee. It was a great bumblebee. And then they have the dies to go with it. And Val, what are they?
The stamp set is, what are they called? That would require glasses over at the other table. But it's $17.99.
You ladies and your glasses. Okay, this is called English Countryside 1. There we go. And that is English Countryside dies.
The dies, yes. Luna match die set.
Okay. So those are on the website under Elizabeth Craft.
Good for vintage cards, though.
Yes,
I could see
those
like
are-
a Graphic 45 or
Yes, they do
Stamperia
have
kind
that.
of all coordinate with this.
Definitely. And then this is called maybe Cream and Sugar. Down
Yeah, cream and sugar. How about that? See, I can see it now. $17.99 for the stamp set, $18.99 for the dies.
Okay, and these are brand new. First time you're seeing them from Elizabeth Craft. And we will be showing you a project made with these. Diana took a class a couple days ago on these, so you will be seeing a project. Oh, can't hear Diane. Oh, sorry. It was on, but now it went off. Okay. Is that better? Sorry, ladies, I wasn't reading the comments. Okay, so again, these are brand new. Let's just
All
go.
right,
These are brand new stamps and dies from Elizabeth Craft. And you will be getting or seeing a video, a project done with this sometime in the near future. And then Elizabeth Craft came out with watercolor colors.
Watercolor set,
Oh,
yeah.
look at all those fabulous colors. And it is $28.99. So if you're into watercoloring, I'm sure nobody has used this set yet, but I'm sure they're great because they're from Elizabeth Craft. So can you hear me now? I hope. Okay, much better. Sorry, ladies, my mic went off. And yes, we all love Elizabeth Craft. That's one of our favorite companies around here. They're great to work with. Their samples are great. And everybody knows that Janine is the queen of Elizabeth Craft. Okay, on to Val. Okay, Val, go for it.
All right, ladies, I'm excited to be here today. Like Diane said, I have a day off from my real job, or my day job, as Kelly calls it. Some people, when they call in, think I'm new here, but it's just because I'm a night and weekender is what I call myself. But I've been here for quite a few years. I have taught some quilt card classes, but it's been several years, so it's fun to be back and just kind of walk you through the process. The way I started with quilt cards is because my mom is a quilter. It skipped my generation. I don't sew a stitch, but I can appreciate it. And interestingly enough, my mom quilts. I do cards and paper crafting, and then my sister is a graphic designer, so she, designs on the computer. So all three of us, while we have different mediums, it's very much a similar skill set.
And I'm surprised you're not a quilter.
No. But I play one on TV. No, but I appreciate all the quilts that my mom makes.
Yes.
They're beautiful.
They are. I
Absolutely
kind of
beautiful.
wish I would have gotten into quilting because I love them. The old quilts, there's just nothing better.
When we were cleaning out my mom's house, there was an old quilt. It wasn't not a very big one, like a lap quilt, I suppose. And she had gotten it for her wedding and I don't think had ever used it, but it was just these little hexagons into flowers and all those tiny little.
My gosh,
I would guess like maybe Depression era or just old vintage, let's say.
You've got to
fabrics.
appreciate all the time and work that goes
it's amazing.
into quilting.
I hung that on my wall in my craft room just because it's it's colorful, inspirational. It's beautiful.
And it's got a lot of meaning.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Yes.
So that's how I got into this.
Okay.
Was through my mom's inspiration.
Let's start with let me show the cards again in case you're late getting on. These are some of the cards that Val will walk us through today. And she used all different kinds of product, a lot of cardstock, pattern paper, and then she'll show us the dies that she used.
The way I think I'm going to present this is here's my teacher objective goals. Okay, when I was
You can tell Val is a teacher.
It's kind of scary, isn't it? When I was making these, I was thinking it's kind of like there's 3 different steps or processes. There's the quilting part where you put the pattern together. Then we have the piecing part. And then the quilting part, which is like the stitching on the top. Usually my mom sent that away to be done, but my mother-in-law used to have kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, a loom or some kind of a holder in her basement. And she would sit down there and just do these intricate little stitches, and she was so pristine about it.
Did she do it by hand?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Hand. It was phenomenal. So anyway, I've been around the whole quilting process a little bit. So then there's the quilting part, and then for the card makers, there's the embellishment piece. So as you see, I've got my little tags here to denote the process. So I'm going to talk you through the process. Then I'll show you my cards, and we can kind of touch on what we've talked about.
Perfect.
And then I will put one together for you.
Okay, just some comments, quick. Grandmother's Flower Garden is the name of that quilt pattern. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Which
My
one.
mom could name them all,
Yeah.
too. And you know what I learned? That each state has their own quilt pattern. I think I looked at Iowa's, and it was more detailed than I wanted to do with paper, but that's kind of an interesting thing.
Janet, when cleaning out my parents' house, I had a quilt expert come over to help me date the quilts.
Oh,
wow,
my
she could tell
goodness.
from the fabric which era they were from. It was fascinating. That would be great.
Yeah, interesting.
Thanks for sharing your story on your mom's quilt and that you have it in your room. Okay, I think we're going on.
All right, like I said, I have taught a couple quilt classes before, done some kits, and here's the process that I used to use, and I'm going to give you this and the updated version. So what I used to do is find a small pattern paper. For these quilts, you're using tiny, tiny pieces, so it needs to be a fairly small detailed pattern. So I start out with what I guess in quilting terms is a focal or a focus pattern. These quilt terms are free, just let you know. I'll throw a few in, but I don't really know them. Okay. So I would find my focus piece, and then I would go over to Doodlebug. Doodlebug is fantastic for this type of thing because it's got the small prints and all the beautiful colors. So
And they all match
exactly.
or go together.
Yeah, so that's how I used to do it. I also found this, the Simple Stories Color Vibe can also be a good,
Oh my goodness, yes.
a good place to find, pieces that match your focal point.
Yes.
Okay? So that used to be my process, and I would wander all over the store and I would look for all the matching papers. But ladies, let me share my newest inspiration. All right, recently I got 3 6x6 paper packs because I'm kind of a 6x6 lady because I do cards. This is because my granddaughter is having a birthday next week.
Is she like 2?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And I just liked this Valentine line, and this is so beautiful. And I follow this gal and do a lot of projects with her. So had to have those 3 6x6 packs. So I sat down with those and thought, oh my goodness, this is a quilt in a package right here, right?
Isn't that fun when a light bulb goes off?
I know.
We all
for
have
all the other times I've been doing this, and now it's like. But I'm sharing it with you because I'm making your life easier.
Yes.
So what I did, because I'm kind of a little bit of a paper hoarder, and you can't use the whole thing, so you have to clip it and you have to save this. Don't make fun of me. You have to save this part because you might want it for something else. Yeah, like other cards.
Yes.
So.
Val, we have all been there. We all know what you're talking about.
So then it kind of hurt my heart, but I ripped them out. Ah, I know, right? And I kind of laid them out in, these are lights, and I'd flip them over. Okay, that one is a bigger pattern, so I'm probably not going to use that one. So I have lights, and here's some nice darks, kind of mediums. So you get the idea. I kind of laid them out like that.
By color.
And, you know, I love penguins, but I'm probably not going to put a penguin on a quilt. But look at, that's pretty.
Yeah,
so
that's
that's sort of a
gorgeous.
medium. Anyway, you get the idea of how I just kind of laid them out a little bit. And then I can just take the pieces and go, let's see, I like the look of, I use this one a lot for my focal point, as you can see. So I start out with my focal, or focus, I forget what she called it. It's a focus fabric, sorry. And then I say, well, I'm going to need probably something with a light blue, and maybe I'll throw in something dark, and there's my 3 pieces.
You go with 3 colors, 3 patterns?
Depends on the pattern of the quilt that you're going to do. So
Okay.
that's a good question, and that'll lead me into something else that I'll say. Do I start with my papers that coordinate and then go to the finding a pattern, or do I start with like a pattern that I find on Pinterest and then find colors? Chicken and egg. I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of goes both ways. So I will show you. I didn't print out the patterns to all of these, but you want to just
This
Google.
one is just so cool.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Look at
Google or go to, I go on Pinterest. I have an entire board that is quilt cards. Some of them are truly quilt cards, but a lot of them are just quilt pieces or patterns that I look at and say, oh, I could make that into a card. Now, I happened to be together with my mom over Christmas, so she helped me. She came to the dark side, ladies, the paper crafting, but she helped me put these together. So it was a really fun thing to do with her.
Oh my gosh, they're just, everybody is loving it, and everybody's got quilt stories.
Oh,
and
that's awesome. I love that.
Janet even says that I save my scraps now. I don't do quilt cards, but I do kind of do paper collage.
Okay, sure.
I love that look.
Yeah.
Mine are not anything like this.
But they could be
Well,
after today.
yeah, well, maybe. Maybe. But everybody is loving this.
Good.
Yeah.
So for an example, this is what my mom and I were looking at on my computer. And, of course, she knew the name for it. You quilting ladies will just throw it out there.
Yeah.
I look at it like it's a grid. That's how my mind works. So I say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I say, okay, I can do triangles. And then we got that triangle. And I'm going to need 4 different colors. I'm going to need a lighter. I didn't want white, a lighter piece. So then I take my 6x6 pad and I take those papers and I, start putting them together. And that's what it comes out as.
Yeah.
Now,
So what paper pack is this?
that I think is the birthday. Let's take a look.
I bet it is. It's got little
Confetti.
confetti on it. Yes. So that is a birthday wish girl paper pack from Echo Park.
Okay. So I said I look at it like a grid. So I primarily, because I do mostly, all these are A2 cards. That's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I look at this and say, okay, that's 4, which is, I guess, called a 4 patch. So if you want to put that in your Pinterest little search bar, 4 patch, that makes an easy little quilt to put on the top of an A2 card, because then I will mat it with a 4 and an 8, and it'll be on a 4 1/4 card. Does that all make sense? Yeah. Okay. So 4 patch, or I also, this one is called a 9 patch. So when it's 3 by 3, they're called 9 patches.
Okay.
So just a couple quilt terms to throw in there. All right, let's take a look at another one where I've got...
And Janet is linking all the paper packs
Oh, thanks, Janet.
that Val is using.
All right, awesome. All right, here's another one where this is what I saw.
Oh my gosh.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4 in my head. I look at it like a grid, and I thought, okay, I need a whole one here, a whole one here, and then just start counting there's one more, there's one more, start counting how many I need. These, I didn't have this die at home.
So on this one, you only use 2 different papers.
Correct. See, so
Interesting.
there's the I don't know, the
Yep.
chicken or the egg,
Yep.
but yes,
Yep.
there
Okay,
you.
so on this one, 2 papers.
Right. So it depends on the design.
And really, it looks like you used more. I mean, it's gorgeous.
And I think I had, yes, this is the one. I think I had the pattern, and you know how you see how they have a lighter piece with it. I tried that and didn't like it. So I went with the really dark to give it what I thought was a better contrast.
I love your version of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they are loving it.
So you got to just play around with it a little bit.
There's a lot of ladies that have Pinterest quilt boards.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You are good to go then.
Yeah, and they're loving how you think out things.
Giving you my process,
Yes.
my mental process.
Okay, look at this one.
This one, to me, I thought kind of gave you a 3D look.
It
feels like
does.
it's coming in at
It
you,
very
and
much
that's because of the
does.
really dark ones on the corner, I think. So this is where I started. Again, thinking grids. Here's my triangle, 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 triangle. So I think, okay, there's one square, there's one square.
Wow.
I have done some where you do a fourth. I'm not going to do that anymore. I wouldn't recommend it. But you do you. Most of these, I will say, I used the new square stack dials
Okay, we'll get down
to make
there.
And then I put them in my cutter so that the triangle piece and the tip was there, and just carefully cut them
That's
on my
interesting.
cutter.
I was wondering how you did that.
Yes.
And you embossed on this one.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
Oh.
That's in step 2, Diane.
Okay.
We're still in piecing.
But look at that. How adding just a little embossing.
The embossing makes me think of the quilting on the top.
Yes.
So I've used
The actual
embossing.
sewing quilting.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I've used embossing folders, and now we've just started getting cutting plates in. I hadn't had those before when I did quilting classes. So that's something new, ladies. That's really fun. It gives a stitched look, is what I would say.
These are
see.
just amazing. They could be scrapbook page backgrounds. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yes, you can take this from small cards and make it as big as you want.
So I have a friend, a customer, that is a quilter and does all the paper crafting, and she has made a quilt book of every quilt an album. She puts in a picture of the finished one, and then all the fabric that she used
Oh, that's a fun
with
idea.
it. I can't wait. I want her to bring that down and show us.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
My mom has hers put in an album with the pictures, but
Pictures.
not the fabric. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
All right, and then this is the last one, but you see how it's
It's like a
you've got,
pinwheel.
yep. And then the medium piece. So we had a dark, a medium, and a light. Is kind of how I looked at it when I
Yep.
was flipping through my papers.
Well, you do an awesome job putting it together.
Thank you.
I mean, putting all the corners together. I mean, it is.
And that's a little tricky, and sometimes I will admit it doesn't work out on the edge. So that's what paper cutters and scissors are good for. Uh-huh. Yep.
There's always a trick to fixing everything.
You got it. And that happens all the time, a lot. So it's,
Dawn, we will explain a cutting plate. Or Val will
oh yes, I'm going to
explain-
show that.
yes.
With today's the
Demo.
quilt that I'm putting together today has a cutting
Oh,
plate.
perfect.
One that I got last night even.
Perfect.
All right, so I think that kind of takes you through
Okay,
how I
so
match
then
the papers.
you want to explain the dies
Right,
that
sure.
you used?
And I used these two primarily.
These are
And-
the Thinlits
Stack tiles?
Yep, and they're great.
Yes, and I to make the triangles, I just put the two tips of the square in my cutting guide of my cutter and went down.
Yep.
I have in the past when I was doing quilts and just had to do them really fast. Quilt kits, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I just used
Use
a
a
punch
punch.
because it's just boom, 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 very fast. So if you have a square punch, it'll totally
But that
work.
was probably before we had these.
Yes,
Because
yes.
you get 5
Yes.
of every size.
Absolutely.
They're
Yep.
fabulous. And again, we've shown you the triangles, the circles, ovals, squares, and hexagons.
That's a hexagon. I did
Yes,
make one card with
okay.
a hexagon.
So those are the Tim Holtz stack tiles that when I first saw them, I thought, why in the world do you need 5 or whatever?
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, but I
But
have.
look at me now.
Yeah, and I have the triangle ones, and I love them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I've told you the process with the 12 by 12s, the process with the paper packs now that is much easier. Use that. These are new since I've done classes last time, so
Yep.
love that. Now let's go on to the quilting part, which Diane kind of alluded to, seeing some of that. So I've used a couple, I pulled out a couple embossing
those are, like,
folders.
perfect.
Aren't they neat?
Yeah.
And
This
then,
one is called Quilted.
oh, well, hey, little did I know.
And this one is called Rhombus. Are you kidding me?
Till dawn. Oh,
Rhombus
that's great.
pattern. That's hilarious. Who knew?
And then these
my
are
gosh.
the new cutting. What am I'm trying
Cutting
to say?
plates.
Cutting plates.
Yes.
So we've got. I
are
already
from
had
Pink
this
Fresh.
one. Love it. It's probably my new favorite. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
And I do have a few using that. Here's one with tulips.
That's
really
been. We've
pretty.
had to order that one in a couple times.
That's pretty. This is the new one that I just picked up last night.
Oh.
So I'm going to show that today.
Wow, these are really.
Oh, and there's, I
nice.
guess I
Yeah.
had that one again. And this is another new one that it would
Wow.
be really, really fun.
Oh, I can't wait to see
Aren't
what
those
these look like.
awesome? I love them.
Yeah.
I laid these out to show how I mat the quilt. Once I have the quilt finished, then I mat it. Or there's one that I use this to kind of put in the background of the flower. I used a circle to put in the background of one of them. So that's just the matting process. This is the actual quilting process. And now we come to the embellishing part.
I just noticed your signs.
Oh,
Look at those little cute signs she made.
that's my teacher thing. The 3 processes.
I
Get
love
it?
it.
Get it? Get it?
And then all the embellishments.
Yep. Buttons and ribbon and lace. I like
Lace.
to use lace because that really
Yes.
fits, I think.
Yes, it
And this
does.
lace die.
I
ooh,
love that.
Love
That's
it, love
been
it.
one of my favorites.
I mostly had collected it so far, but now that I've used it, I really like it.
Yes.
This snowflake one for that winter pack I've had for a year. Love it. Of course, since I don't do real stitching, those of you who do could real stitch. This would be how my stitching would look anyway.
That's how
So
my
I
sewing
just-
machine looks.
I just thought I'd put that on one of them. And then
great.
the 2 stamps that I used for sentiments. You can use
Perfect.
anything. I just happen to have these
This is
handy.
the one that Janet designed, and then one from Photoplay. And then this is the stitching washi tape that
Yes.
I love.
Me
And a
too. And
lot of you
I've
have
used that.
it.
Yep,
Yes.
I use that on a couple, and we'll go
So
take,
if you don't
take
have
a
a
look
sewing
at it.
machine, you can just put washi tape on it.
Or if you do have a sewing machine and you don't really know how to use it that well, this is good.
Okay, can Val show the IO square die on the table and how she uses it? That one.
Yes, and I used it for the demo part today,
Okay,
so
perfect,
I will show you.
Susie. So hold on.
I got you, girl. All right, let's take a look at the cards now, Diane, and just walk through a little bit some of the embellishments I've used. I showed you these, I think at least a couple of them, and showed you how I use.
Sorry, I just knocked over my water.
It's all good. This is the lace, isn't
Chris?
that lace die?
Oh
Isn't
yeah,
that
there is
beautiful.
There
I love
is.
it. Yeah,
There.
I thought that was so pretty.
That one, and then there. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
This is water. Okay.
Now this is live lace, real lace.
Yeah, yes.
You'll probably have some in your stash. And then these are those little snowflake dies. I threw a couple of pearls on there and
Perfect.
ended it. Charm with
Yep.
some ribbon goes on that one.
Look how easy that was.
Trying to see what I used. Oh, here's one that has a cutting plate. So see, I don't know how you have to. Can you hold it, Diane? and
Oh,
see?
yes. Oh my gosh, that's great.
Can you see it?
Yep.
All right. So
Yep.
let me find one that has just an embossing folder. Okay, that's this one. Can you
Yes.
see the swirl of that at all?
Wow, loving that.
So that's the difference. There's an embossing folder. There's one of the cutting plates. Both fun. Both great. There's that stitched line.
Yep,
Just
perfect.
it grounds your words, as Teresa has taught us to
Yep.
ground things. And that's some of the new puffy hearts that we have.
From Doodlebug.
Yeah. And this is the one where I just used the circle behind it. And again, I just used one of the papers from that 6x6 pack. I would recommend picking up a 12x12. I don't know if I showed that. The 12x12 solid packs to make your cards, because
Yeah.
then the matching part of it is totally taken care
Yep,
of. So
perfect.
I have used
And then you can make them any size.
the 6x6 paper pads, and then the 12x12 solids is what I picked up. That's just a little bit of rickrack, because I
which is
feel like
perfect
that
too.
fits them.
Yep.
Buttons in the middle of these. This one, I don't know if you can see. So there's that Hero Art postage.
yep.
And do you see how I used that
that
cutting plate on
yes.
the background?
Oh my gosh.
Just
that's
added
like
a little.
perfect.
It was just plain. It was too plain, and it just needed a little something in that.
But how perfect
did
is
it.
that?
This one, again, rickrack, and here's one. It could go this way or this
Yep.
way, and I've got the black washi tape on
Yep.
it. There,
Perfect.
again, is that washi tape.
Yep.
Sorry, not black. This one's green,
Green.
that one's black. But it's from that washi tape
Well,
pack.
they are loving this. Seriously, I love these cards. I've been listening to a quilting podcast, and this makes me want to do both quilting and card making right this minute.
Oh, all right. Well, here
I should
you
probably
go.
wait until the end of my workday. Probably.
All right, ladies, we've taken a walk through the piecing
Yep.
part, the quilting part, the embellishments. Let's make a card.
Okay, so she's going to show
Oh,
us
hey,
how.
squirrel, look at this little plate.
Yes.
So you don't lose your stuff. And I've got a January one in.
Oh, perfect.
And
Do you switch it out?
Well, I just got it because they've shown it,
Yep,
and
yep.
they've enabled me on the videos. So the teacher in me thinks I'm just going to change out for every season or every month.
Those
maybe.
are the 9x9 vintage trays that,
Do you want me to grab one?
yes, please, that
Okay, thanks, Chris.
that Janet first showed us, and I think all of us now have bought one, and we change out our paper. They're right there.
Yeah.
They're great for holding stuff, displaying stuff. Thanks, Chris. This is what it looks like, and I think it's 9x9, and they're $12.99. Their vignette display panel is what they are called, and you can actually make a display on top or use it as a tray. Oh, and there somebody put snowflake paper in. Perfect. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Now
By
the
the-
process.
By the magic of TV, I have pre-cut using this. Now, if you think that quilt cards will be your thing and you're going to like squares and triangles, highly recommend this because it matches perfectly. You're less likely to have to, trim or cut the edge like some people maybe have to do with their others.
And this has the stitching around there. Now you can see.
Right.
$14.99, and they do have the stitching.
So I really like that die. It's new to me, again, since I've done any of these quilt cards before. Now, what I always do is have a piece of just scrap paper, white paper usually is what I use, that's at least probably 1/4 of an inch smaller than what my final product is going to be. And that's so I have a place to build my quilt. All right. Now I used to just, put the tape on the back of the little piece, but my mom, when we were working, she just put tape all over her entire little square.
Oh, there you go.
Cat here. Shh, don't tell.
Okay.
Now, I wish I had a picture of this, but this was from a live video that my mom sent me, so I just snapshot it and took a snapshot of the quilt, so you're just going to have to bear with me. I start in the middle and build out so that I don't have any of this hanging out. My mom didn't do that. She started, from the side. It's however you visualize
Yep.
it, whatever works best for
Yep.
you to process it. So we're going to start with a focus fabric. See, I can get my quilt terms in there. And I just kind of center it. But like I said, you can always trim it off if it's not perfect.
So she's just eyeballing it.
Yep. And I know I have 4 of these to go along. The thing I like,
She's probably using repositionable.
it's not.
It's not.
But it is my favorite because you can, there is that,
Pick it
you
up.
do have that ability, yeah. But then once you run it through with the embossing folder or this, it really
Sets it.
gets it adhered.
And we do have a repositionable
Yes, and
tape that a lot.
Val just doesn't have one, but she probably needs one for doing this. It would be handy. All right, so there's the start. This is an easy one. I wanted something easy for the video, for MBTV. Lots of just squares, okay? Now this has the focal point is going to go in and kind of match up with this focal point like that. And the thing I like about that is then it's stitched all the way around too.
It is.
and
I
that
like
just,
the stitching.
That's really cute. It adds a little something to it.
Now you'll see that her base that she's working on is smaller.
Right. At least I would say go at least 1/4 of an inch smaller. Because I don't have a lot of space, but it'll still hold it because eventually I'm going to mat it onto another piece, and it.
Wow, and those pieces like fit like a glove.
Isn't that awesome?
Wow.
Love it.
Yes.
So yeah, if you think you'll make some of these, I would recommend this.
So this
This
is an
die.
Impression Obsession die. I'm not sure how many of those
We
we
don't
in
have
stock.
many, but we can order them because
Okay.
it's a fairly new thing. It's
Okay,
not,
yes,
it's not been
we-
around that
If
long.
you can't order it online, we just call us and we will get those ordered.
Put you in the book. All right, so that's how I build.
A little more adhesive.
A
on
little
there.
more. That's how I build my quilt itself.
And that actually went together pretty darn fast.
That's why I picked this pattern. Now I have pre-cut, and I just cut this particular one with my my cutter. And
Now,
I think
Janet, a customer Janet, I start in the corner, but I do it all on my Misty or my scoreboard. That keeps my edge straight. So there's a
there
really
you
good
go.
tip.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Usually I run this through or emboss it without embossing the background. Today I'm going to adhere it and run it all through as if this is still part of the quilt, this little edge piece, because quilts do have, that little edge.
Yep.
Double check that they stayed. All right. So I'm gonna
Now she's
eyeball
putting
it.
it on her matting.
All right, good enough. Now here we go.
Okay.
Now this is a new cutting plate. I just bought it last night, but it looked like it would be really fun. so we're going to use it.
It is from Pink Fresh, and it is called Stitched Diamonds. And it is $20.99.
So I want the stitching part to go down into the quilt rather than pop up.
Okay.
Just a personal preference. You can do it however you want. I'm just lining it up, sorry, right here. Okay. I probably should have brought a little tape, but
yeah.
Oh well. This is magnetic. I'm a big magnetic what do you call that, plate user. I didn't bring my super warped one for today because I didn't want any of you to know how ugly it was.
We all have them.
No.
And she is using the, what are they called? The Sizzix machine.
Oh, Big Shot Fold Away.
Fold Away. Thank you.
Written right here.
Yeah.
It's kind of handy.
Okay, how many times did you?
I did it twice.
front and
I
back?
don't know that you need to. I just did it, so it brought it back to me. Ooh, I like that. Can you see it? You'll see it if I turn it over.
Oh, there you go.
Now you see it.
Okay, so yes, you can see it. Oh my gosh, look at that.
There's the quilting part.
Okay, can Val explain how the cover plates differ from embossing plates?
Sure. Embossing folders are just going to give you a raised feeling. It'll feel embossed. This actually pokes little holes in it. So to me that looks like it's stitched.
See, I
So
would
let's
have
take
not cover plate. This is called a cover plate die. It's really not a cutting. It doesn't cut.
Here's where I've used it on the background. See how it just pokes little holes?
Okay, so that's the difference. It is not a cutting.
No, it doesn't cut.
It is called a cover plate die is the difference. Cutting plates cut.
Did I
obviously.
say cutting plate?
No, I
than,
did.
Oh, rather
I
than
did.
cover plate. Okay.
So it is kind of a new term,
Yeah.
I think. A new set of dies that just poke holes. And maybe we can show one just on, do you have any just plain paper?
Plain white or plain anything?
Yeah.
Plain
so
anything,
we can
yes.
just see what
You bet.
it actually looks like. Just so they can get an idea.
Right, we'll use this peach.
This will give us a good idea of what it actually looks like on just a plain piece of
Do you want me to run an embossing folder too, or do we
could.
kind of know what that is? Okay.
Okay, so
Turn it over too.
okay, this is what the cover plate looks like. It just kind of embosses. It doesn't cut, but it embosses. Look how beautiful that is. And there is the other side. Wow.
I
learned
love
something this
them.
morning.
We didn't have them before.
No.
They're sort of new, but
Wow.
I'm kind of an embossing folder guru. I really love embossing folders, so now I love
Okay.
the cover plates.
What is the name of the cover plate with the branch of leaves?
That one we don't have. That was in my stash. I'm so sorry. I think that she's trying to get,
Which
trying to
one
order.
was-
That was this one. I think this is a honeybee. And
Yes, we've had that in.
Oh, I bought it here.
Okay, yes.
She ordered some from Pink Fresh, but hasn't yet from Honeybee, or
Okay,
they're still coming.
honeybee ones are coming today. Well,
Oh.
no, they shipped yesterday. They'll probably be here Monday. So I bet that one's on
I'm
there.
guessing, yeah.
And it's sorry, Barb, we don't know what it's called, but it is a honeybee.
Unless I have it.
Val's looking. Oh, look at her stash.
Here it is.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
There's the honeybee one. It is called. Sure.
Let's see. It is called Spring Leaves A2 Pierced Cover Plate. It is from Honeybee. It is $20.99. Spring Leaves A2. And They should be here Monday or Tuesday. Okay, I got to catch up
I
on
did
my-
show Kelly that I had that one.
Okay.
So.
Tuning in late, crazy day for me. Someone, rear-ended me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's too bad. Sorry, Chris. Makes me sad and angry at the same time. I know.
Understandable.
Such a pain. They do call them piercing dyes on
Other websites?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully you're okay, Chris. Let's see. Okay, so now we'll keep going with Val's card here that she's going to make for us.
So I just cut one of these. I'm going to put that along the side. And I thought I would pop this one up just to give it a little dimension.
We love pop dots. Yes, Chris, you can come to Memory Bound.
We'll even give you a hug.
Yes. That always helps a lot.
All right, so I thought I would do that. I can add a word. I've got some little snowflakes or pearls I thought I would maybe put right there. Do you want me to do that or just...
Magnetic?
Katie had this as one of her favorite things a few years ago, and I was lucky enough to get her favorite thing.
Janet and I were just talking about magnetic things because when we scrapbook and we're doing a lot, we have tendency to not put our dies back where they belong.
Yep.
And we were just talking that we needed a dish.
So what do you think, ladies? Little pearls right here, 3 of them, little snowflakes.
Oh, maybe a combination. I love those. This is sprinklets. Sprinklets, pearly snowflakes.
There's more that I thought would totally work also.
Yeah, any of these.
So we have quite a few of those types
These
of things.
are button galore ones, and they're called frozen.
So let's see if we can find 3 little snowflakes.
Yeah, they want magnetic bowls. We're going to have to see if we can find some.
Sorry.
Yeah. And you need a fine tip glue bottle for these.
What do you think? Something like that?
Yes.
Should I put it across the bottom?
Oh, I like it just like that.
I just thought it needed a little something there. Then, whoops, that glue came out fast.
Maybe not quite that much, but...
Oh, well.
And you know what? This
Live
is
and learn.
just a tip I learned, putting the glue on the paper and not the embellishments.
Oh, yes. So, yep, we'll have to have that.
You need one of those pencils that pick up, a picker
I
upper.
do think I have one, yeah. I brought the tweezers for that, but, hey.
And this glue will dry clear,
Yeah,
so
it'll all be fine.
Yep.
Nothing a little Kleenex couldn't dab and fix.
Yeah.
But anyway, you get the idea.
Perfect.
There we go.
And you put a sentiment on that, and you're
Absolutely.
good to go.
Yep. So that is what I have for you today, friends. It was great to be here. A day off from my day job.
Loved having Val here today, and she's actually working today.
Yeah.
So she gets to work on her day off. Except this is fun.
So if I answer the phone, you will now know who you're talking to.
Yes. Okay, I think I've answered everybody's questions on. We might have to do that. Okay, let me just show you all her cards again. And again, Janet will be putting this on the blog, so all of her samples will be up there, maybe today or sometime in the next few days. Janet gets things on really fast. I'm just going to step behind you now and show things from the previous days this week. These were Katie's pages made with shapes. Some of these are Katie's and some are Peggy's from yesterday. So those are a couple that Katie made with circles. Not actually circles, dies, but you make them into circles. And there is the squares. Oh, and the rectangles. We forgot about rectangles and hearts. And then we have ovals and the hexagons and the circles. So again, these are just some pages from the previous days. And then Peggy's pages yesterday were just so awesome. She just does a fabulous job. And if this isn't on the blog yet, it will be shortly. Janet does a great job for us getting all of these pictures on the blog. So again, this has been Shape Up in 2023. It is Friday the 13th today too. Oh, Chris, sorry you had a fender bender on Friday the 13th. Okay, I think we are done for today. Thanks to Val for being here. Let's see if there's any other questions. I think we're good to go. And everybody have a fabulous weekend and a safe weekend. Hope everybody is healthy, and we will see you on Monday with Diana is here with her cards, and you won't want to miss them. They are fabulous. So until Monday, we are signing off.